Well, hello there, and welcome to A Film a Day with me, Jordan Woodley. We are still on the awards season films, and today I want to talk about the Andrew Dominik biopic, Blonde. Because the difficult thing about this film is that it is the loosest definition of biopic in quite some time. Because I understand that, I have always been a proponent of, if you're exploring something in cinema, I don't like the idea that a biopic is supposed to just be a biographical representation of someone's life from youth to success to the end of their life or wherever they are by the time making of the film. You know, that films should still be artistic and exploratory. But Blonde is very much in the body of, it is not about Marilyn Monroe. Ana de Armas, I think, unfortunately for two reasons, is not likely to win the Best Actress award. Firstly, in both BAFTAs and Oscars, it is very much a two-horse race between Michelle Yeoh and Cate Blanchett. And I think Ana de Armas is really going to struggle in that two-horse race because they are both extremely high contenders. And I think the film Blonde, despite the fact it has a lot to say, and despite the fact that she gives an exceptional performance within it, I think it is an extremely complicated film. And I don't mean in the narrative term, I mean in sort of an emotional, visceral sense, a cultural sense of it. It really feels like a director who wants to talk about the female experience of being an actress in a certain time period. It wants to be an exploration of the psychological version of Marilyn Monroe, but it doesn't feel like it's a story about Marilyn Monroe. I have to say, it is the most Lynchian film that I've seen in quite some time, and I love David Lynch. And so watching this very much appealed to my sensibilities. There is something very art house, very experimental with it. And forgetting about mainstream appeal and forgetting about awards contendership, in terms of that exploration and experimentation, I really like that, because I think let's have that dreamlike experience of someone going through their life in different phases and different emotions, and have it switch genres. I've already seen things saying that it is like a horror film in certain points, that you have Norma Jean and Marilyn Monroe battling in the same body, and particularly in that scene where she's crying in the mirror and then Marilyn takes over, and there is something quite horrific about that, quite haunting about that. And again, like I say, there's something Lynchian about it, not just in the performance, but in the score. There's even a point towards the end of the film where I swear the score and the cinematography reminded me of Fire Walk With Me. And I think there's something about that is appealing. There's something about it that does make me want to watch this film, and it leaves strong impressions. I think at its core, the film is about this young child, and why we get that really powerful prologue about her being abandoned, abused, and abandoned by everyone. And the idea that the whole story is about a child, and then a woman who simply wants to be wanted by someone earnestly. And then it breaks it down into acts. But like I say, it's very experimental. It's very experimental in that. And I do think that outside of the context of Marilyn Monroe, it is a really interesting story and a fantastic performance. And I think it does have something to say. It feels like, again, and I feel like I'm going to be saying this a lot because I've already said it several times about films before this, and I suspect I'm going to be saying this about films coming out very soon, or films that I'll be discussing very soon. It is extremely undisciplined, and it's too long. For an experimental art house piece, it is too long and lingers too much and gets too distracted when it needed to be tighter and more focused, even if it's being surrealist and experimental. And I think that's a real shame. I do think it's an interesting film. I do think it's good from my perspective. I can see why it's divisive, and some people hate it and some people like it. I'm in the camp of liking it. I'm very much in the camp of liking it. But I do think it's definitely the kind of film that is going to split people, and I definitely don't think it's a mainstream film by any token. Anyway, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.